Hello, everyone. My name is JD Calderon, and this is Indy Comics Explained. And yet again, I brought another fantastic group of independent comic book creators. So please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video, let everybody know we're here. And without further ado, I got this dude coming on.
What's up, kid? How we doing, brother?
Good.
Yeah, you got a loaded guest list for tonight?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so bring
Yes,
him on.
sir. Somehow, some way, DM Ray managed to sneak it.
He snuck in. Is he only going to give us 30 minutes tonight?
I don't know. He might.
Maybe
he
20.
might. You know, he is Canadian. So,
Canadian. Those Canadians. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. They're a shifty bunch. But I'm JD Rosario from Unstoppable Comics, hanging out with this guy on Sundays, hanging out with him also on Fridays. And he's got a bunch of people who put their money where their mouth is, believing in themselves, and making some kick-ass comic books. So it's time to bring them on out, baby.
It's this guy. Keep running into this guy.
What happened?
I'm here again. You
okay?
I thought he was going to say, you blew the intro. You blew the intro.
Well, I did actually just realize something this time through. When Calderon clicks live, as soon as that thing goes red, he's talking. Like there's no buffer. There's no 12 seconds to wait for the video to start. It's just red, go.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right. Tom, Big Dog Inc. Comics, celebrating year 16, doing all this. What Legend of Oz: The Wicked West is our focus this year on our Kickstarter campaigns. And convention season is almost about to hit us real hard this year. So we'll hopefully see some of you out and about this year.
Cool. How you doing, Michael?
How you doing? Michael Connors. I have a comic book called Conrad Van Cottonmouth, and I am super excited to be on JD's show. I too one day wish to have a house by the lake. But thanks for having me on, and I can't wait to get into what Conrad Van Cottonmouth is about and talk about comic books.
All right, cool. Well, you're in a house and you have a tree.
Yeah, there is a lake. I'm in Princeton. There's Carnegie Lake, but it's not mine. So I have a swimming pool, and it's a little tiny baby, and it may or may not have water in it. I don't know.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Fred, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? I didn't know you were in Princeton, Michael. I missed that. That's pretty close to home for me. And I'll take what Tom said a step further, JD, man. That intro hits with intensity, man. Like the energy's palpable. Like, you can't help but get amped up to do this after you start us off with that. But yeah, happy to be here, guys. My name's Fred Schwartz. I'm the writer and creator of Fisticuffs, and looking forward to talking with you guys about that today.
All right, cool.
Dungeon Master Ray, aka Ray Jameson, here to talk about stuff with these awesome hosts as usual. Writer of the Mad Caps, and just happy to be on board. I will be here for longer than 20 minutes, and that won't happen again. Jay, we'll have a good time. You can't get rid of me. I promise I'll keep the background the same this time.
Why? That other background was...
No. We'll stick with this background. This background works.
If Christmas was every day, JD, you get bored of it. You got to bust out once in a while. That's it.
All right, but I'm just letting you know if you want to come on next week. You might need that other background.
I like how your real name is your AKA and not DM Ray is your AKA.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's my alias.
All right.
That's because nobody else knows him as Ray James.
That's right.
I didn't know the DM was Dungeon Master. I thought it was like CM Punk, one of those mysterious things where there's multiple answers depending on who you ask.
I'm actually a DJ at house parties in Rio.
Yeah,
right.
It was a Run DMC thing.
There you go. Rob, please introduce yourself.
I'm Rob Multari. I'm the creator and writer of Nightwolf and Snowpaw, founder of Lone Wolf Comics, and thanks for having me on again.
Listen, man, anytime. And Rob is also my co-host, or I'm his co-host, or we're co-hosts together.
On our Tuesday show, every other Tuesday.
Show of Mice and Wolves.
Ow.
There you go. Ow. All right, gentlemen. Look, we got the show question. And what's funny is I stole this question from Michael from last Tuesday's show. So, Mike, all the props in the world for you. Thank you for coming through.
No
So-
worries.
It's so vague, though. It's such a vague.
It is very, very vague. So we're gonna preface it like this: how do we make it in indie comics, right? But stick to one answer. Like, what's the one thing either you would do or you're doing, and just try to stick to one thing, right? Because a lot of us are gonna have the same answers, right? So, Rob, you're in the hot seat, man. You came in last, so last man in, first man up.
All right, can't stop, won't stop.
There you
Just
go.
basically the tenacity. Keep going at it, man. Hitting it hard. Like, even if you find something's not working for you, get rid of it. Try something else. If you really want to make it in indie comics, like, you got to experiment. You got to make sure you have a great story, great art, and you got to have a tenacity, and you got to basically have like a nerve of steel, because if like somebody talks shit on your shit and you're like, you know what, I still believe in it, cool. Or you got to be like, you know what, maybe I'll lateral move and try something else, see if that sticks. I mean, a lot of people out there don't do, their first thing isn't the first thing that blows up, right? I mean, look at Robert Kirkman. How many failed things did he have before he got invincible in The Walking Dead, So
Are you telling me you're not a big fan of Battle Pope?
Love Battle Boat.
I'm just saying statistically. But just like I said, that you gotta keep going, man. Like, don't let people tell you can't do it. If you need to figure out what's wrong and fix it. Keep going. You know what I mean? That's how you make it in indie comics. Like, there's a lot more to it, obviously, but that's my one lane that I'm allowed to stay in.
You just chose 3 lanes. He literally said pick one thing, and you chose 3 things.
It's all the same thing.
It was a 3-lane highway. It was one highway.
There you go.
Look, Pittsburgh's got a lot of construction, and they're making the lanes wider.
Nice. So, and also don't forget Kirkman's The Realm. Does anybody remember it? It's okay.
Exactly. No.
He did put out a book called The Realm. But Michael, please, what are your thoughts on the question?
I mean, I don't actually. It's funny. I don't have a good answer because I haven't made it yet, so I'm like still trying to figure it out. But I do. I've listened to you guys a lot, and the one big takeaway I've always gotten from it is building an audience. And it's just that the business has changed so much from when we were when I was reading comics in high school and stuff, that it's gone from selling books in comics bookstores, which still is part of it, but it's more now of like building the audience, building engagement, and finding those. It's just a big math game, I think, as far as I could tell. I had some overlap I did a startup for a while, and it wasn't a massive success, but I started small and I built it to a huge audience. And then eventually when I moved here to Princeton, I exited out of it, but it was still kind of like, I feel like there's a lot of overlap with this, that you start small, you keep building traction until you build a large enough audience. But the problem with it is that you have to keep doing it too, because it's like, you could lose audience as well, which I have to remind myself. So it's a lot of work, and it's constant. That's the best answer I have for it.
Cool. Fred, what are your thoughts?
I agree with both of the previous comments. I think I agree with what Michael said about like, I haven't made it, so I can't really reflect on the formula that worked in that regard. A better behaving dog would probably be more helpful. But so what I can say is what I see that I think I got right, that I see some other people maybe, struggling with, is I think like kind of like singular focus on like one story stuff. I've heard JD talk about this before with like ongoing series, how you want to kind of, do something and establish it and keep it going, so you give your audience like time to build. And I didn't do exactly that, but what I did do was kind of pick my best story, plan it out as like a 6-issue miniseries, and kind of put my chips on that, right? And I'm in the middle of it now. I'll tell you guys in a few weeks if I, how it makes it or how far it makes it. So I don't know yet. But in terms of like the story so far, like the creative aspect, which I think and I hope we're getting right, it's about like kind of putting, your chips on one story instead of trying a bunch of stuff, that, your heart's not in all the way. You know, I think I heard Quentin Tarantino used to talk about, like, when he would write a story and before he would go to make the movie, he would know his story better than anybody else, know it inside and out. So if somebody comes to me, hey, why does this person do this? You can explain it to them. Like, for anybody that read Fisticuffs so far, there was some outlandish shit in the first 3 issues that gets really off the rails. And it's allegory. And like, people may be like kind of turned off by some stuff, but I can at least, everything in that book, I can explain what it means, what it represents, why it works that way, and what you're meant to feel. So I would say that, right, is just like knowing your story inside and out, and like knowing that that's the one you want to bet on, and just going with it and seeing how far you can take it.
All right, cool. Mr. Ray, what are your thoughts?
I don't have 3 answers, but I have 2.
I don't need 2. I just need 1.
Well, you not only are you going to get 1, you're going to get another one as well. So, first one, to quote Michael, taking away from you guys, I think that is pretty big, especially when you're starting out and hearing what everybody has to say about the craft and about what's going on. I think that's very, very important for the early stages. This is my first book. I'm only 3 issues in, and I definitely have a lot to learn, and I'm having a lot of fun while I'm doing it. And there's what is it called? Kung Fu Panda, when Poe opens up that dragon scroll, there's no secret, just a matter of figuring it out and learning stuff from others. Answer number 2 is know your audience and making sure that they are exposed to what you're putting out to the industry. So if you have, I don't know, let's say if you're appealing to younger generations that are reading comics or manga or whatever it is, that's going to be very different than Gen X. I saw a meme once of Gen X where it was Gen Z was love yourself, and then millennials was love your neighbor, and then it showed for Gen X a picture of Conan. It says crush your enemies. Well, depending how your stories are like your messages, how people interact with each other, that's a very important detail. And then just to reflect on the next stage of that is, if you're getting a lot of trends of similar reviews, sometimes be it good or bad, to embrace those things and incorporate it in your style of storytelling, because the people will tell you if they like it or not.
Okay, that's fair. Tom, what are your thoughts?
You read your reviews?
Yeah.
What
absolutely.
world do you live in? Have
Well,
you been told enough that you don't read the comments, sir?
I'm just outside of Gen X, so I don't crush my enemies. Sorry, man.
Okay. All right. All right.
And sometimes you have to have those for pull quotes. So if you got good ones, you got to read them.
Sure.
Tom's like,
Sure.
I don't care what anybody else says.
This is correct. This is correct. And this is what I will tell you. This is the only thing I know about making comics. You better like what you're doing. Because if you don't like what you're doing, it's going to cause you a lot of problems. Number one, you're not going to like what you're doing. You're not going to like what you're writing. You're not going to like what you're drawing. You're not going to like what you're coloring. You're going to be bored. You're going to lose interest. You're going to drift off. You're going to cause whoever's in your chain of command making books, you're going to cause them trouble in whatever, chain you are in the link. So if you don't like what you're doing, either get on a different book or don't be doing it. But the other side to liking what you're doing is it comes through when you talk about what you're doing, whether you're on a podcast like this, whether you're at a Comic-Con and you're trying to tell somebody like, oh, you should read Critter, like this is why I think you'd like it. If you are either disinterested in your own work, or if you've made something that is sort of like a pandering trend thing that you just kind of jumped into because you thought that you could swim in the water and just hang out with it, it's going to come through. It's going to be clear to whatever audience you're talking to that you don't really care about what it is, and you're just trying to get that $5 out of their pocket. So that's really where it has to start. You have to like what you're making. If you don't like it, make something else. That's where it has to start for me.
Cool. Mr. Rosario?
Yeah. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Right. It's that meme where the guy's digging in the tunnel and he gave up, and then just behind that last bit of wall that he needed to chip away is all the gold and all the diamonds, right? It's not giving up. It's not giving up. It's having belief in yourself to keep going, right? And when you make a little bit of money, because it's a little bit of money, you reinvest it in yourself and you level up the way you tell stories. You level up the people that are telling stories with you, right? You learn not just the stuff in the front of the house, which is the making of the comic book. You learn the stuff in the back of the house, which is keeping the lights on so you can keep on making more comic books, right? As frustrated as I get on a daily basis doing this stuff, the person that I was when I first started doing this stuff would look at everything I'm making and be like, wow, right? And I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't do enough, right? But I get so mind boggled and sometimes I throw more weight on my shoulders than I need to, right? But when I wake up the next day, it's okay. It's putting those boots on, excuse me, tying them back up, believing in myself and continuing to make more stuff. Even if it's just answering today's emails, right? You just got to keep the needle moving in the right direction every day. And it adds up. So how do you make it in comics? You made it, right? You made the book, right? That question is a little weird. It's like, what's making it? Is it making the books? Is it supporting yourself on your own, right? With the books, or just making the books? If it's making the books, you fucking make it. We're here. We're doing it. Fucking doing
it. But that's why I have it vague. I want everybody to
that's why I
come to their own conclusions. But for myself, the way I would see it is if you really want to be successful, right? It's a thing about efficiency, right? You have to try to be as efficient as you can be with what little time you have, right? A lot of us, I'm sure, if not all of us, work day jobs. And even if you don't, you still have to, parse out your time in a way that, it's efficient, right? So that you're not wasting time, right? And then, and it's what you consider wasting time, right? When you're working on your comics work, put away your phone, right? Don't constantly be scrolling, right? Because it's easy to get lost in that. Right?
How do I use my spell check if I don't have my phone with me?
Get out, stop using WordPad and get a subscription to Microsoft Word.
I go with what I know, baby. I go with what I know.
Which means you don't know much.
Damn right. Damn right.
JD, I remember you talking about there's times you section off blocks to write. Yes. And if somebody's speaking to you, I remember the way you worded it, it's like you're in your own world. You're so invested into the writing portion. Yeah. The rest of reality kind of shuts off. I'm paraphrasing there, but
yeah, but that's exactly what it is. You have to I have to letter, I have to write, I have to edit, I have to reach out to all these other creators to get, I commissioned this person for a cover 4 months ago. I'm like, shit, where's that cover? I had commissioned this other person for a 5-page story. It's like, where's the 4th page? And it's constantly going back and keeping all that stuff, together. But you have to try to be as efficient as you can with your time, right? Like, I'm trying to get down to 1 hour a day watching TV. I watch 1 hour a day, and that's where I try to keep it, right? Because we don't have time for that shit. If I'm on the subway, I'm reading a book. If I'm eating, I'm watching television. If I'm working out, I'm watching television. If I'm sending out emails, I'm going to try to focus on just sending out emails and not scrolling through my phone, because that is a problem for me. I'll sit there and be like, you'll catch one video and it'll be funny, and then you catch the next video and it's funny, and then you'll see a bunny, and then you'll see a kitten, and you're like, oh shit. And then 40 minutes later, you're like, what the fuck have I been doing with my life? And then
It's called doom scrolling for a reason.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I agree. So yeah, that's the sort of thing. Try to stay away from that. I never picked one up. We had one at my old job where we would sell these little device. It was like a little alarm, right? So that it would go off every 30 or so. But you can set it for 15, 20, 30 minutes, an hour, right? So that you know to switch over to the next task.
You can do that on your phone, Calderon.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
But
Back to the phone.
Right. See, but that's the problem, is keep the phone away. But this was like a block, this little thing, and it would be in your face and it would be counting down. They were like boom, boom, boom. So you always keep yourself as efficient as you can,
It's like kitchen timers.
It just might as well have been, yeah. Just might as well have been. But that's where I'm at. Jay, you guys
I love the visual of Jay Rosario writing scripts on his phone.
Well, but that's how I do it.
I do it too.
That's how I do it, bro. Seriously.
I can accept that from a younger person like Fred. But like an old fuck like you, no, I can't.
Oh, okay. All right.
not even an iPad. You're literally writing a script on your phone.
Let me say this, right? Because I'm out in the field all day, right? So I've got the thing plugged into my ear, and it's dee Siri, take a note. Blah 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 blah.
But that's taking notes. That's not writing a script.
That's fine. And then when I have the free time, I try to compile those notes. I try to decipher them. And I try to put something together. Yeah. That's the first draft, right? Yeah. When I get home and I lay that out and I start to edit it, okay, I'm building a second draft, or I'm expanding from the outline to a paragraph, right? But I'm always doing work on the phone, dude. Always.
JDR, we'll say, because there's two JDs. I'm with you on that. I don't like the idea of like just sitting down at like a blank page and like starting kind of as I go. I like to I look at it like building scripts where I'm like, okay, I'll put like this beat of panels together or like this bit of prose together. And then like, it's like, as I feel like inspired by something, like I'm building it, and then I think I heard Jordan Peele recently say that he looks at like a first draft of a script as like putting sand in a sandbox so he can build a sandcastle. And that's kind of how I do it. But I do it on my phone out of convenience so that I can, when it's fresh, and you build it. So I'm with you.
Yeah. I don't have the luxury of sitting on my backside all day like some people, right?
I mean, you got to do it when you can. Right? We're all busy. I mean, there's times where like I take a notepad with me, or if I don't have a notepad, I'll bust out my phone. And then I got like sticky notes of shit everywhere when I have ideas. You got to pull it together somehow.
Oh yeah.
I used to do that too back in the old day of pen and paper. I would go to work and then I would leave with a wallet full of like scratch pad notes.
You can't start from where you're not. And if you don't have anything to help you put your ideas together, then you're not getting anywhere.
It's interesting when you mention
lack of discipline.
Yeah, and efficiency of time utilized. Well, here's a good example for myself. My average morning during the work week, my wife, children, and myself, I'm driving them. We're out the door by 6:30 in the morning. I drop everybody off at work and school respectively. I don't get to work till about 20 to 8. And during that time, I find that's the best time to allow my imagination to just wander, almost like meditating, but not. And I can just drive and be on autopilot. And as soon as I pull over into the parking lot at work, I bust open Google Docs and I will put in a couple of point forms. So I don't forget, man, that's a great idea. I have to use that. So I make lemonade out of the scenario given.
I write while driving way too much.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's not lack of discipline. It's taking advantage of every moment you possibly can.
Lack of discipline.
Bullshit.
I get moments when I take the kids to gymnastics.
Lack of discipline. I know where I'm at in the world. I know where you're at in the world.
Okay, so lack of discipline. Okay, I can't sit down all day for 12 hours like you do. I can't.
I don't even know. One, you don't know what my day is like.
Okay.
And two, you don't know what I do.
Exactly. You don't know what my day is like.
I know what your day is like. On your feet, you
what
walk
I
around,
have
right?
when I can.
And if you're actually doing your job, you'd never have any time to write.
Oh, that's fucked up.
You're actually doing your job. You know what I mean?
Rosario's just taking notes on the back of people's mail,
Exactly.
Well, that one's not going to make it today into the notepad.
What
I gotta write
day
this
is
one
it?
down later.
No,
Yeah.
this one's junk mail anyway. They don't need that.
Yeah. They're gonna
Somebody
find
opens
him
up-
like
somebody
the guy
opens
from
up a-
Demon Knight. You know, he's gonna be like that guy from Demon Knight who stole everybody's mail. He'll be like, well, my excuse, I was writing notes on the back. You know?
He's gonna like accidentally send a good idea out to somebody. Like somebody in
There you go.
Hollywood is accidentally gonna get an envelope with like the best script notes that they
And then
ever
when
could
the
have
movie
asked for.
comes out, JD's gonna shit himself.
Yeah.
Shield of the Interceptor movie comes out next week, right? It's like, what the hell?
There you go.
Oh, look at this new action figure.
Uh,
Rob, that one hurts, Rob. Right now, Rob. That one hurts right now, kid. Holy shit. That one hurts right now, kid. $17.50 per unit right now for what would have been $3 and change just two years ago plus.
Does that include the molds and everything?
That's right. That's everything. So that was the shipping price and the mold.
All right, so
Only for
1,000
one mold. Only for one mold.
One mold.
It could be more molds are needed.
All right. Well, I would just say get those. So your numbers aren't straight, so you got to straighten those up.
Most likely one mold per action figure.
Yeah. All right. So getting back to the show, Jay, what's your question?
All right. So in a perfect day where you are just working on comic books, let's say you got an 8-hour day, right? To do everything that's on your to-do list. Where do you start? How much time do you give emails? How much time do you give editing? How much time do you give building new scripts? Do you take lunch? Do you work through lunch? Right? Do you do pre-press? X, Y, and Z. So on a perfect 8-hour day to work on comics, what is in those 8 hours for you?
Michael, you're up.
So I mean, to clarify, you're saying what a perfect day as far as being efficient, or a perfect day is like what I would really like to do?
A perfect day is, and this is all you have to do, whether it's your day job or you got the free day to handle your list. It's a perfect day.
Yeah, it's a bit strange because I'm a web developer and I am a contract, so I do have long stretches where I may not have a project and I can work full time on it. But I'm a one-man show, so I'm doing everything from the creative, I'm writing, illustrating, and then I'm also doing the marketing and the production parts of it as well. Ideally, if in my perfect world, I would just be working on my book and I would have other people helping me manage the distribution and the marketing and all the other moving parts to it. My most efficient day is that I get a few pages done and then I get some part of the business aspect of it done, as far as,
But
also a couple social media posts. Sorry,
you have people that are working on it, right?
No.
On the back of the house stuff. You said,
Right.
The marketing. How much time are you devoting in that perfect day to give them direction, to give them notes on what they need to do? 20 minutes, half hour? Are you going back and forth on them with texts?
I think it's probably your morning going through emails and saying,
okay,
I need this done by, and then by right before lunch, you jump back over to doing creative.
Okay.
My perfect ideal day is I would just work on the book and not work on the other stuff. But I really don't like marketing or production. I mean, and making TikTok videos. My God, that's just awful. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know what you think, but yeah, that's what I would say, is that my perfect day is that I would have other people helping me manage this, and I would speak to them via email and stuff by the morning, and then by afternoon I'm back working on the creative and having other people helping me with the creative, and some aspects of it, and then getting a few books out every month would be fantastic. That's certainly the goal I'm going towards.
All right, cool. Fred, what are your thoughts?
So yeah, the perfect day part boggles me a little bit because it changes every day. Like I have a list, I used to muse that it was called the STD list, the shit to do. And It's ever changing, and there's always something at the top of the list, and it varies, and so it's kind of like I think it's like the Steve Jobs thing, right? About like the noise to focus. So, and you can tell I deal with a lot of noise from an attention-starved little hound. But
to talk.
he's got a lot to say about comics. Apparently, enough? No. Come here. I'm going to pick you up then. All right. So for me, it's just about like separating like what needs to get done and like what I would like to do. Like obviously, I'd rather have a day where it's like all creative, all fun stuff, and like we all know like even like writing, there's different like I think most of us would be like, oh, we want to do the fun creative stuff or even like the fun stuff with people, but like even writing, like there's different like tiers of it, right? There's like the fun brainstorming where everything's like a beautiful concept that we haven't screwed up yet. There's the part where you're like going back and like putting the screws to it, the kind of in between, and there's always like a fun part that you'd rather be spending your time on. But I think like it's ever changing, and it's usually, if I'm being honest with myself, it's usually like the thing that I want to do the least, that I need to spend the most time on and tackle first, when you have good energy. I've heard this before said about like, have you heard about the spoons theory, about how we all only have like so many spoons of good energy a day, and it's about like where we place them? I don't know. But, my answer is like, it's ever changing, but there should always be like every day you should look at your list and be like, okay, this needs to get done the most. This is where I need to spend the most time. And, if I'm being honest with myself, usually it's the stuff that I don't want to do, right? Like promotion and getting out of my shell, or, or doing something where like I have to really scrutinize my own work and whatever. So, I think to shorten that answer, ever changing, but it's important to prioritize, so you make sure that you're, being as efficient as possible and getting done what you need to.
All right, cool. Mr. Jameson.
I actually had to type this one out. I had to think about it. Thanks for not putting me first on the hot seat.
Did you type notes on your phone? God damn it!
This one's on Notepad. It's a .txt file. I'm not lying
Jesus
right now.
Christ.
Just for the quick notes here.
I love that. Love that. .txt all day, baby.
Just understand that if you ever try to get a professional job and you turn in a TXT file, they're gonna fire you.
Well,
Yes,
that's why I'm making Indie Comics.
Yes. I wouldn't even open it. I'd just fire you.
It's a lot faster to open up an unsaved Notepad file than it is to open up Google Docs or anything else.
Yes, it is.
It's just right there and bam. So here's my breakdown. I would spend 2 hours writing. As already mentioned, some people do it in bullet points and other things. Just getting the sand in the sandbox, as already said today. I review comic books, and there's lots of reasons for that. The big one is giving back, and I think that's very important. As a byproduct, there's networking in that respect. So I think it's very important that I do that. I am about to do my 50th review. It's a lot of fun, and I enjoy it. It's obviously not for everybody. I would spend 1 hour of contact with anybody involved in any projects I'm working on, be it people doing line work, colors, letters, my publisher, etc. I would spend an hour of reaching out to streams and podcasts like this one right here for the reasons I stated earlier. Somewhere in there, I do an hour of lunch, and that leaves 1 hour left. I would tack it on the very end, and that's either I have an early day or I have momentum and I want to keep going. I've got the time to do it.
All right, cool.
Like,
Rob?
So my perfect day would be if I were to get all of my work stuff for that day for my full-time job done the day before, giving me that 8 hours. I would be first starting off with my coffee, checking my emails, and then once the coffee's kicked in, it's down to the nitty-gritty of whatever is the most important of whatever is going on at the time, because I usually have several projects, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. I have to say that y'all need to get yourselves a better communication / project management tool, because email is not it. Like I use Trello, so I'm constantly in contact with all of my artists, my letters, my colorists, whatever. at all times. Like they can get me on my phone, they can get me on the computer, whatever. So if I'm in the middle of something, they need something, I can answer right away, you know? So that's something that happens in and out throughout the day while I'm working on, let's say my most important thing is getting a Kickstarter page up. You know, I'm knocking out that, getting it ready, making the video, all that fun stuff. And then if I still have time in that 8 hours, you know, I have nothing else that I got to do, I'm going to put some writing time in, just because, you know, got to keep moving that story along, right?
All right. Cool. Mr. Tom.
Every day is fluid for me. There's nothing that is typical from day to day. Everything has a specific either need or requirement, and it just gets judged when I wake up. You know, today I had to go into town, go into my warehouse and get some books so I could finish shipping Kickstarters. So that had to be done today, so all the Kickstarters could get finalized. So that was a non-optional thing. I had to go do it, so I did it. But you know, everything else is just sort of what are first of all, are there requirements? Sometimes there are requirements. I have to talk to this guy today. I have to talk to that guy. I have to turn in pages to my printer. I have to do things here and there. But then after that, it becomes really fluid because we have to exist in the creative side of things. And so for me, if I wake up and the creative side is popping, pretty much everything else goes aside. I let the creative just go. Like if you're talking to me, it's going to go into the computer on Word, a real program that I can send to publishers and printers, and they all understand how to open those things. But yeah, the creative for me kind of always takes precedence if it's happening. But at the same time, if I know, hey, okay, I'm writing today right now, but I still got to ship these things out, that just means that I move that to the end of the day and I make sure that it still gets out at the end of the day. My 8 hours can take up any portion of my day. I could start, stop, move, shift. Doesn't make any difference to me. I'd be working until midnight, doing stuff. I could work at 8 a.m. It doesn't matter. I don't do anything else with this. So I just shift and move and adjust as necessary. Communication is huge. I'm the same with Rob. I basically tell everybody, like, if you cannot functionally use Messenger, we can't work together. Like, that's it. We cannot work together. I don't want your email. I don't care about your email.
I'm totally sending you a file of Messenger. It's going to be called txt.doc.
I don't want any of it. I don't want any of it. So it's like, learn how to use Messenger. I don't care what Facebook, Instagram, wherever you are, learn how to use that Messenger, and I can work with you. But if you're just like, well, I just no, I don't want your email. Don't care. It's too slow. It's not efficient. Don't want it. So communication, and again, that makes communication easy. I sent like 12 messages out to people today and got responses from all 12. So we all know where we are. Super easy. And then that allows me to just move on to whatever the next thing is. I tend to watch a movie pretty much every day, either like during lunch or when I'm in shutdown mode before I go to bed. But even then I'll either be watching it to either shut myself off, or I'll be watching it for some sort of purpose. Like, I'm going to watch this because I'm writing superheroes today. So I'm going to watch a superhero thing to kind of vibe me up on that kind of world and where I want to be. So yeah, it's every day is something completely malleable.
All right, cool. For myself, if I had like a perfect 8-hour day that was just for me, and I didn't have to do anything mechanical with a project like packing books and all that stuff, emails would be first. It would probably be the first hour, but I would like to make it less, like half hour. Then after that, it depends what needs to be done. Because sometimes I got a lot of lettering that I do. So I might spend 2 to 3 hours lettering. But I'll also spend 2 to 3 hours writing. And then maybe an hour editing, depending where I'm at with a certain story, if it's sat long enough. But that would be it for my day. And I mean, and with communication with my artists, as far as that's concerned, I'm like, unlike Tom, I'm like, send me an email. Because I don't want to constantly be distracted from what I'm doing from something like Messenger, right? I want that have to go to the other thing and click it and do all that stuff, and it'll take its time. I actually want that. I want that separation of time. It works best for me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty simple. Most of my day would be spent writing if I could do that. Jay, answer your own question, brother.
Yeah, so I'll start off the day answering messages. Try to get as many of those out of the way as possible. And if I get the chance at the end of the 8, I'll go back to see if they responded. Maybe get a jump on the next day. I'll try to give myself at least 2 hours of writing, but it all depends on the flow, what I get stuck on, right? If I'm hung up on this, hung up on that, I'll move from project to project. Then from there, it's what book is in what stage of pre-press, right? Am I in the lettering? Am I in construction? Yeah, that's where that. And then it's building the Kickstarter or whatever's next on Kickstarter, and trying to build as many of those fucking posts and updates in advance, so I don't have to do it day of. You know what I mean? I could just store it and then, hey, here's the day, bloop, right? But that hardly ever gets done.
All right, cool.
And I use what? I'm sorry, Rob called it Trivio or something like that. I don't know, because I got
Trello.
Trello. Okay, I got WeChat, I got WhatsApp, I got Messenger, I got emails, I got fucking some other shit, and that's just that. Then I got payment methods. I got Western Union, I got Zoom, I got PayPal, I got I got Allstate. I don't know. I got fucking any other way.
But none of those actually are project management. Those are all separate things. It doesn't help you do shit.
Trello's a Scrum board, no?
But I have the same.
It's a Scrum board, no?
So it's basically a project management board that you can put you can have the artwork up there. The way I do it is I set up I have the pages all laid out on one column, and then I have a to do, working on, in progress, or finished, and then kind of like a general references column. And my artist can post each page, the start of the art, and I can make comments and do a checklist and say, okay, make these edits, and keep track of everything, conversations, because you can comment on it, you can put the checklists, everything, and then that way they can't say, oh, well, I didn't see this, and I'm like, bullshit, it's right here, and you just check it.
But it pulls from other apps, right? Or do they have to get on the Trello too?
They have to have their own account, but you can put you can put PSDs and other kinds of stuff into it. It just depends on what payment level. I do the free, so I just have them drop the not too low res, but high enough or low enough that it's you can't print it, but enough that you can just approve everything.
Right. Interesting.
Wow. That's cool. But listen, nowhere near as interesting as Conrad Van Cottonmouth. So,
wow, what a great segue. We're getting better at this. It's so good.
Right on, man.
Do you want me to play this video, Michael?
Of course. It's a great video. You got to play the video.
Very nice.
Love it.
That's awesome. Really cool.
All right, Michael, walk us.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying walk us through this.
Yeah, so the video, I because I'm a web developer, I spend a lot of time making banner ads. So I've, that's all my banner ad animation career coming to light. So the story is about a rabbit that gets captured by aliens, and they make him really smart, and he escapes and comes back to Earth, and he can build any machine. He builds a machine to teleport anywhere on the planet. But the twist of this story is that he's still just a rabbit. He's nonverbal. He doesn't really have any motivation or anything. He's the main character, but he's really more of a catalyst for the crazy story that happens around him. So it's kind of like this dark comedy sci-fi where the aliens just dump this technology onto our planet in this, in the form of a rabbit, and everyone's trying to figure out what to do with it. And it's like the government's trying to use him. And he has a friend that's this girl Amanda, so they're always trying to have her control the rabbit, but no one can really control this rabbit. And the aliens left this power plant on the planet, and it's going to destroy the whole planet. So now they're trying to get the rabbit to help defuse this power plant, refuel it. So that's really kind of the synopsis of the story. And there's a oracle that foretells the future of how this rabbit's going to save the world. And this is book 3, which I'm super excited about because I'm now on book 3, and it's really going to be a 4-part series that will be one complete story arc. And then once I get to the 4th one, it's going to be compiled into a trade paperback. Yeah.
All right, very nice.
Yeah.
What are you looking at as far as, I think I asked you this the last time. What are you looking at as far as schedule? Are you looking at late this year or early next year, mid next year?
For book 4?
Yes.
Yes, hopefully I get it before I go and I wrap it up before I go on vacation in July, but it may go push past that, depending on how work projects go. But I'm already deep into the pencils on 4, so it's going pretty well. So I'm pretty confident it'll go fast. Well,
gotcha.
it'll. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, that's all I had to say is that I'm working on it. I'm in the middle of it.
You pen ink? Are you inking as well as penciling, or are you just penciling and then coloring?
I am penciling and doing traditional inks, and then I'm scanning in the traditional inks, and I'm doing digital coloring on the iPad.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
And I think, as I mentioned before, I actually work panel by panel. Like here are just like sketches that I'm doing that are like panels, and then I compile them in Photoshop. So that's how I'm giving away those.
If you want, you can hold some of those up so people can see them.
Oh, sure. Sorry. So like this is me currently just like working on sketches. Oh, actually. So this is for book 4, and this is like some sketches that I'm working on. So these are the things I'm actually giving away in this current Kickstarter. Are these the first 100 people get one of these sketches that I work on, since I work panel by panel.
So you don't have any actual comic pages?
Sorry?
It says you don't have any actual comic pages. So you draw the individual panels and then you construct them together in the computer.
Well, what I do then again is I will take that page. You gotta bring me back up. I'll show you another demo that I compile them together in Photoshop. Okay. And then I ink over that. And now I have the whole final page that's inked. But they're finalized pages.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. It's a very, very unique way of doing it, but I like it. All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm
so
not
you
sure.
11 days. What?
I'm not sure how I landed on that on that process. I think I first started trying. I put it on Reddit and I tried doing it just all on the iPad. And at first I posted the sketches and people were like, "Oh, this looks great." And then I did the final version of it on iPad and I posted on Reddit and everyone was like, "This is incredibly bad." And I was like, "Wow, I completely messed up." So I then went back and had to relearn what I'm doing to work because I'm trained to work traditionally. Right. And so now but coloring on the iPad takes way too long. I mean, coloring it traditionally takes way too long. So that's why I switched over to iPad.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Sounds awesome, man. It's a great looking book, man. So thanks. You have 11 days left.
Mm-hmm.
You're well above your goal. Hopefully we can add a little bit more on there. And then, yeah, man, it's an awesome book. Everybody, man, I would advise go checking out Conrad Cottonmouth.
Conrad Van Cottonmouth. Yeah.
Conrad Van Cottonmouth. Yeah, the story was that I had named it Conrad Cottontail, but it was like way too Beatrix Potter. And then some of the yuckleheads in high school, hanging out in the boys' bathroom, like, "Oh, you got to call it Cottonmouth." And I was like, "Yeah, that actually makes sense." And I like the branding because you don't forget it really. And then once again on Reddit, they're like, it couldn't be Conrad the Cottonmouth because he's not a cottonmouth. But I wanted that, rhythm to the name. So then it came Conrad Van Cottonmouth. And that seems to make the most sense, I think.
That's cool. And so you've been working on this since high school?
I have, yeah. I came up with the concept in high school and then I abandoned it for a while. And then I just, one day I'm like, God, I should get back into comics. I decided I had this idea a long time ago and I just started doing it again.
Oh, that's really cool. All right. Yeah. I mean, listen, high school and fisticuffs, that's what we always end up with. So,
Another good segue. Excellent.
There you go.
Man.
All right. Great. Walk us through it.
Sure. So Fisticuffs is the story of a functional drunk whose comfortable life derails when a one-night stand has deadly consequences. It is the all right now. It is the sense of humor of the boys, the explosive action of Invincible, and the kind of deeply personal storytelling that you would get in something like The Crow, right? Because a lot of trauma and personal stuff kind of bleeding out on the page here. So Fisticuffs, it's about a protagonist who thinks himself kind of like a rebel, but he's as far from it as he can be. The comp I use a lot is he thinks himself to be like Slim Shady or like Alex DeLarge or something like somebody like that, but he's closer in character to like George Costanza, right? Just kind of a schlub and an asshole.
Slim Shady.
Very not
store like 12 hours later.
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of like Jonah Hill in the beginning of 21 Jump Street, if that helps, like a guy that
amazing.
Thinks himself to be way harder than he is. I mean, you can tell right there with the body language, and Stan renders him so beautifully. I was fortunate to find the team that I did. Stan Yak is like the greatest gift that I've ever found. He brought this to life. Like I was talking about earlier, Fisticuffs is really kind of my dream project. It's kind of like my biggest passion project because it has to deal with, a lot of issues that I've been through, struggling with addiction and dysfunction and, mental health and so forth. So it's really cool to kind of put that on the page, but also do so in kind of a way where the sense of humor is, vulgar and disgusting and, the kind of filth that I loved growing up. But, the content is, a little bit more serious. And, I was actually kind of had a cool experience talking with somebody the other day about the story who was not interested in it for him. He was very straight-laced and he seemed very, come here, buddy. This is why you need to support Fisticuffs too. I need to get him some etiquette training. I want to get him, trained just like a service animal so I can bring him in public, but I think he's too far gone for that. But anyway, so Fisticuffs is definitely made for an audience, like me in my 20s, right? Maybe somebody that was not necessarily receptive to change or not receptive to deeper themes, but definitely might get, be interested in a superhero fighting a giant onion monster or, having to decide between saving the day and shitting his pants. So it's the kind of story that I think people might be able to sink their teeth into, but also at the same time, maybe get some, some messaging and, and hopefully help themselves. So we're getting ready to launch. We're going to be announcing the official date this week, and we're going to be announcing a lot of our rewards and cool stuff. But please, guys, give us a follow, support, and help this project keep growing.
Goodness. I mean, you got 111 followers, so you're good. What type of dog is it?
He is. Do they ever outgrow this shit or no?
No.
Okay. Come here. I'm gonna pick him up now. And now he's gonna stop.
It just depends how hard you hug them.
Oh, Ray said to hug you.
You can say you can look at that like with like really good intention or very dark humor. It's a very all-inclusive kind of joke.
Oh geez. I thought it was kinder than that. I was gonna say he should listen to you. Like Ray's the dungeon master, Parker. You should listen to him.
Yes.
Also, his name Parker, I gave him because Spider-Man. There was when I first got him, there was like I made a little bed for him, and there was a spider trying to sneak his way in. So, that was the reason behind it. But it was also twofold, so that when he's bad, I can yell at him, and I get to feel like J. Jonah Jameson. So it's like, what are you, deaf? I called you twice. So.
Parker.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
Sorry, I can hear his voice when he said that line. What are you deaf? I called you twice.
Yeah.
It's ringing in my head as clear as day.
Yeah.
Good pull. Good pull.
Thank you.
All right, we got the madcaps. No crazy intro there. But DM, do you want me to play this video?
Yes, please.
While making contact with our friends Tazzo and Sarlacc, we crossed paths with an undead outbreak in Ivywood. This led us down a rabbit hole involving a local drug called Weave, bandits, kidnapped citizens, and an ominous book which I was able to gather critical information from. Time was not on our side, and we were not the most qualified to address this urgency.
We need to blow up the distillery.
Can't hold this spell much longer! The necromancer is mine. I am your beacon!
Nice.
Right on. Well, thank you very much. Anybody who likes a good story involving a whodunit or a really short story mystery, this is the story to follow. This is about 4 friends in a story that takes place all in one night, where they are led to believe that a local drug has something to do with a failed undead outbreak. And one thing leads to another, with issue 3 starting off with all 4 individuals realizing that they are the only ones close enough to shut down a curse that's about to be put on their hometown by sunrise. They are exhausted. They are at the end of the night. They've pulled an all-nighter, and what started as helping the guards slay these undead creatures, combining with them not being in the best of shape and being completely like tuckered, not in their best conditions. They have to see if they can go pull off a win and try and hunt down this necromancer that's about to do a lot of bad stuff. So if you like a little bit of tension, if you don't, if you like a good balance of story with action, everything leading up to issue 3, granted, does have action in it, but issue 3 itself is all stops are pulled, and this is for all the marbles. So go ahead and back now. That'd be awesome. Thanks.
All right, cool. And this is issue what, 3?
3 of 3.
3 of 3. Okay, so you're done.
Yes,
now,
all 3. Go ahead.
What's going to come after? Are you looking to do more stories with these characters, or at least in the world?
I'm getting a lot of questions about that. I will not have an answer until this Kickstarter's done. I like focusing on one pod at a time.
Okay.
I'm getting a lot of good feedback, so I'm not against the idea. I guess that's the best answer I can give you right now.
Got you. Now, the original concept for this came from when you were role playing?
Yeah, well, role playing about 15 years ago. I did this. I started getting into RPGs because I moved across country, and I abandoned everything. I abandoned friends, family, the works, and I needed to find reasons to hang out via webcam, and Dungeons and Dragons became an option. We made I did everything homebrew, so no modules. It's all under my own lore, politics, creatures, etc. And I took one of the short stories out of that and I turned it into a little mini series. I took out the main characters that everybody was playing as, and I injected in my own characters based off of people I knew. I got to exaggerate their strengths and weaknesses. And one of the coolest things I like about this story is when you're around your friends, you're more inclined to live up to how they view you. So when you have these 4 friends, we could walk away, but I don't think any of us would be able to look at ourselves in the mirror ever again. I guess we're going to have to try and not die and not let the bad thing happen, essentially.
Okay, cool. Very nice. Very nice. And when this is done, you haven't started going through, because I know Phil Bell's your publisher.
Yes.
So you haven't gone through distribution yet, right? You're going to wait till the 3 issues are done?
When all 3 issues are done, that is one of the next things to address. It is going to distribution to your local comic shop. I'm very flattered. This is my first time writing, which is very encouraging because I am getting a lot of positive feedback, including my publisher, who thinks it's worthy of being in the same shop as anything Marvel, DC, and anybody else throws out there. So I'm very, very happy about that. Anybody listening, we are 400% funded already. We've got 3 weeks to go, and I've got a lot of really cool stretch goals to show off. I can't yet, but there's even a really cool, it's my background right now. We have a special edition trilogy. That image right there, all 3 comics, all 3 issues rather, brand new covers. When you combine it, makes that image right there, which is a depiction of Act 3 of the final act of the final book. So we're going to throw down like supervillains holding children. Splats.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, cool.
So wrong, Ray. I'm so wrong.
No, it's not. You're right, Ray. You're right. So you got another 20 days. You're well past. You're funded. You're well past funding.
Yes.
So good job, man. Very nice. Very nice. I like.
Thank you kindly.
Everybody, go check out Madcaps 1 through 3. Go buy some books. All righty. So now listen, Rob. I'm sorry, but I am all out of segues and all this stuff. So here's your book, Snowpaw. Excellent book. You want me to play this video?
So cold.
Sure.
It's so cold.
Really so cold. It's not cold.
Dress them up a little bit. You know what I mean? Come on.
That's right. This will speak for myself.
Fierce heroine with an adventurous spirit nearly gives in to the social expectations of her time. But a trite fairy tale ending is not meant to be as Cyrilla McKinley discovers her werewolf lineage. Her eyes are open for the first time to the existence of supernatural beings and creatures of fantasy. Hi, I'm Robert A. Multari, the creator and writer of Snowpaw, and the hit series Nightwolf, as well as the founder of Lone Wolf Comics. While writing the Snowpaw series, I wanted to tell a story about a strong female character who my daughter and other girls reading comic books can look up to as a great role model.
In April of 2016, I launched a failed Kickstarter campaign for my first series, Nightwolf. I didn't let that fail launch stop me, so I decided to raise the money on my own doing freelance web design jobs to pay for the artists. After self-publishing Nightwolf issues 1 and 2, I came back to Kickstarter in October 2019, and since then, I have successfully overfunded 25 campaigns across 3 crowdfund platforms for Nightwolf, Snowpaw, and the Wolfpack Pup series. That's all thanks to my amazing backers who I refer to as my Wolfpack. Now, I stand ready to publish Snowpaw Volume 1 that collects issues 1 through 4, 16 additional pages of story, and pinup art. And that's why I've come back to pay for the printing and the rewards that you will receive for backing this project.
I'd like to personally thank you in advance for backing Snowpaw and joining the Wolfpack. I'm extremely grateful for where I am now as a self-publisher and continuing to serialize new comic books for you to enjoy. Again, thank you for taking this creative journey with me. I appreciate it so much. Aye, so what are you waiting for? Take this journey back with me to 19th century Scotland and join the Wolfpack today.
All right, Rob. I have to say, I love the kilt.
That was awesome.
That's
Rob, that was
actually my family kilt on my mom's side.
That was a good button. That was a good button to the video, buddy. Accent though needs some work, but you know.
I mean, look, I'm more Italian than I am Scottish, so.
Oh yeah, all right.
All right. So, Rob, please walk us through it.
Yeah, so as the video said, so this is a story about Snowpaw. This is Nightwolf's mentor in his series, but this takes place 200 years prior in the 19th century Scotland. It's about her discovering her werewolf lineage. And essentially, she grew up on a failing farm in Scotland, and that her father then betroths her to a rich man's son. And she then has to go to the engagement party and all that stuff kind of against her will, but she starts to kind of get a feel for that kind of life until she's discovered by a high-class werewolf that we see there at the party in his human form. Then he follows her and her father back to the family farm where he and his pack attack the family, triggering her first transformation. In this story particularly, there's a lot more fantasy elements than there is horror, like there is a Nightwolf. I tried to write something completely different as far as exploring my world and opening it up to a lot more things. I purposely did things that I didn't do in Nightwolf and vice versa, just so that I could kind of tell a different tale. And I'm very pleased with how this first story arc came out, and everything about it.
All right, cool. So this is basically, like you said, her origin, her first adventure.
Yes.
When it comes down to it, are you looking to do more adventures of her, like before she gets together with Nightwolf?
Oh yeah, I mean, I have 200 years to play with, so I mean, yeah. I can either time jump or just kind of go linear. The next story arc is actually takes place a couple months after where we left off at the end of this story arc.
Okay, cool. As I scroll through your endless scroll, so I mean, this is what, your 25th campaign?
Something like that. I'm definitely in the 20s somewhere.
All right, cool. So I mean, in all that time, right? What's been working the best for you?
Honestly, I mean, what's nice about it is having like kind of a, with Nightwolf, it's an ongoing series. Snowpaw has been ongoing up until this point. And I think just having kind of like that, kind of keeping that branding, like most of my pages are very similar. I just kind of update really like the specifics and stuff. So like being able to kind of streamline, right. I think definitely helps to get more stuff out. Having great artists, and just being fulfilling, that's a big part of it. People want to trust.
All right, got you. Now, do you like Tom? Do you have a warehouse as well?
I don't have a warehouse, though I probably should upgrade to one. Right now I have a 10x10 storage unit.
I saw Lego pieces earlier up.
There's a bunch of
little figurines, a little bit higher.
Yeah.
There they are.
Yeah,
that's cool, man. You sell a lot of those?
I'd say I'd sell probably a couple per campaign, more so awesome. Actually through backer kit afterwards. It's weird. I think I do better with add-ons in backer kit than I do in Kickstarter, just because the Kickstarter add-ons are a pain in the ass.
Interesting.
Okay, cool. Very nice. Are you looking to do any more plushes?
Oh no, I'm done with those. No. I think once I get out of those, that they will be done. So I might write some more Wolfpack Pup stories, but right now I'm just I want to just get back into the actual focus of the writing and getting books out.
Okay, gotcha. And before we leave, look, there's Adventure Finders. I'm also running the campaign for Adventure Finders. So if you buy Rob's campaign and my campaign, or Rob Espinosa's campaign for Adventure Finders, you will get this print. Right?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes. Yeah. No, absolutely not. You won't.
We're not going to ship it out. Right? And then, you want to talk about the card set?
Yeah. So was it 4 of us here, right? Are a part of this 9-card set. If you've backed the past campaigns and then the current campaigns that are live and the future campaigns, you will be able to get all 9 of the set. And then on the other side is a connecting image that you'll be able to see.
Yep.
So then there's links to all the past campaigns and live campaigns.
Yeah, that was it. All right, cool. I mean, listen, man, you're made it to the bottom. You are what? Oh, you got 11 days to go.
Yep.
Well above your goal. Very nice.
Mhm.
All right, cool, man. I mean, listen, you always put out great books. So, everybody go check out Snowball Volume 1. Excellent book by excellent creators. So, nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jay, that's what I was going to say.
What's up?
Rob really doesn't need anybody to gas him up. He's already gassed. All right. Tom, you got a question?
No.
Okay.
I think I'm going to change my intro video and put on a kilt.
That's the question. Will you not
kilts or no kilts?
I'd probably lose backers. I don't know.
I was gonna say, I'll kilt for sure if it moves merch.
Yeah.
Kilt or not kilt?
That is the question, yes. All right. So I got a question for everybody. Damn it. All right, Rob, before I ask this question, number 3 or number 4? Just give me either one. Doesn't matter.
4.
Okay. If you were to do a documentary about indie comics, what would it be about? Like, what would be your focus, right? What would be your through line, right? So if you were to tell this story that not just involves yourself, but a segment or whatever you wanted to focus on in indie comics, right? What would be your through line? What would be your focus, right? Mr. Jameson, you're up. Don't be hiding.
Darn it. I needed to look something up for reference. In the 90s, early 90s, I think there's a documentary about comic books I really liked. It felt, although it focused mostly on Marvel and DC, it talked about the origins and it felt a lot like indie. If I was doing an indie documentary, I would definitely reflect on those early stages and showing how modern is there's similarities, of course. I would, of course, look at things like Top Cow, Dark Horse, Image, and I would look at their starting roots and see which ones are actually like grassroots and which ones had some benefits getting started, be it celebrity status of star power in specific artists, etc. After that, I would there's a lot going on there, so I would not be able to provide any closer of an answer than that. I would have to dig pretty darn deep first. I guess that my answer is I need to dig deeper to give anything more.
All right, so start digging. What do you got?
Well, I've done a lot of reviews, so I think I would try to find some commonalities that would include, and I've heard this question many times, what got you started into comics or starting this story? And then I would reflect culturally and see if there's any specific things. For example, I'm sure during the pandemic, there was a trend of people doing indie comics because suddenly they had a lot of time on their hands and could express accordingly. I think I would look through those themes and bounce accordingly.
Okay. See, I know I can get more out of you. Rob, what are your thoughts?
Oh, man. So honestly, I would have to focus on something that people actually gave a shit about, because quite frankly, I don't think a lot of people would give a shit about true indies, as far as the unknowns like us. I mean, I hate to say it, I would love that people would love to know more about us, but they're like, who are these guys?
Yep.
Right. So I mean, obviously you would kind of have to I definitely would involve this as much as I could, but you would have to get something that people would be interested in learning more about, and that would be sadly still getting a name involved. I wouldn't go through anybody through Image, obviously, because everybody knows those guys. Everybody knows that story, right? Dark Horse is very in that similar bucket. I would if I could, I would probably aim towards getting Brian Pulido even though he's worked for the bigger ones, he's never really worked for like Image, and he actually has his own indie publishing. That's I wouldn't say it's close to us, but it's the closest compared to like, you know, the people with actual, you know, brands at like Image and you know,
kind of a halfway point.
Yeah, exactly. So I would definitely kind of like get him in there, maybe Dan Mendoza, and then kind of inject like I think Tom would be a great one too, because he's been around doing it and he's been in retail, and he's actually worked with an indie publisher, not only just himself, but you know, working with you know, the other with Critter on what's his name's company.
Aspen, Antarctic Press, Dynamite. Thanks for knowing who I am, Rob.
Hence the documentary.
Right. But my point is like, you know, there's like the more name commonality that like that people would be more interested in than like, say, you know, just me. I mean, nobody knows me short of like you guys, right? You know, or people who've been reading my stuff. So nobody gives a shit who I am. So, like, to put me in a documentary would be just stupid. But, like, you know, like I said, people who've established names in the indie industry, I think that's where the focus would be, because you want to bring eyeballs to it. You know what I mean?
All right, that's fair. I highly disagree with you, but okay.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it. You can highly disagree with me. That's my opinion. You had my.
I know. I just disagree with you. That's all. You know. And to preface that, the only reason I do is because we can all turn on a documentary of just about anything on anything and not know anything about the person, and still be fascinated by what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, I don't watch sports, right? But, and of course, I'm drawing a blank. What was the sports documentary show that was on HBO?
30 for 30. The 30 for 30.
30 for 30.
30 for 30
No,
was
there was one
ESPN.
before that.
Is it E60?
No, it was on HBO.
Oh, HBO. I don't know.
Oh, Real Sports.
Which
Yes.
Real Sports.
Brian
I
Butler,
don't
yes.
give two shits about badminton, but I swear to you, those people could bang out a documentary on badminton and just have you engrossed. You know, so that's why I don't disagree.
Yeah, I'm going to jump the line because I'm
Go ahead.
I'm going to jump in because we're kind of ragging on Rob, and it's not totally fair. But here's my point. He's not wrong in that you want to have sort of a name attached to draw somebody in. Like that totally makes sense. Mm-hmm. But to Calderon's point, I have watched plenty of comic book documentaries on shit that I don't know what the hell it is. I mean, I watched literally, this is for you, Ray. I literally watched a documentary about Canadian comic book creators making Captain Canuck and bullshit that I have never heard of in my life. All right.
I saw that one too.
Yes. Yeah. So here's the thing. I think for me, it would be a focus kind of awesome on the lower level publishers, but there would be caveats to it. It would be guys that have been doing it for at least probably a decade. It would be people that I felt had a personality, so that when they were talking on the screen, it wasn't just, well, I made this thing,
right?
And the thing, and the thing. Like, you got to have a personality to be able to be interviewed and be a part of the thing. I don't care if you have weird hot takes and stuff. That's fine. Bring all that stuff, but you got to have a personality. That's what I think is what makes the documentary. Even if you don't know what it is, the personalities in the documentary can grab you and go, oh, that guy's interesting. That guy had a story that I would have imagined. That guy made a thing that I've never heard of. Why haven't I not heard of it? And then that could be a catalyst to go find more, learn more, whatever it happens to be.
And also that editing quality to make it like the talent that can make somebody talking about a book of matches be amazing.
Yes. And there are those people out there. There are definitely people that can edit this stuff properly and make it viable, even if sort of, because we all understand, like, nobody knows who we are. Why would anyone want to listen to us? But there are people just in the comic book world, just in general, comic book fans, who, if they're scrolling through Tubi and they're like, oh, 16 years of Big Dog Inc. comics, the best comics you've never heard of, like, they'll click on that. Now, if it sucks, they'll turn it off. But if it's interesting, if it's produced well, if all the people that they introduce within the Big Dog Inc., family, the artists and stuff, if they all have personalities like Jen Broomall and Nia Rufino, if they have personalities and we make it interesting, that's what those documentaries are there for. So that's where I would go in that regards.
All right, cool. Michael, what are your thoughts?
I would love to see a documentary about the evolution of this business, starting from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with two guys in their black and white comic book. And I was there and I remember that coming about. And I was like, man, I couldn't believe how well that just blew up. And like to where we are today. I mean, because it's been pretty incredible where it started from there into where we are now. And I'd also like to see a lot about the people who are reading the comics too, because now that I'm working on this book, I've gone to cons and I'm meeting the people who are reading the book. They're just incredibly intelligent, passionate people who are into this books. But I'm also realizing that I'm showing the books to family and friends, and I'm realizing how much more there are other people who are not your typical comic readers who are into the indie comic scene. So now the landscape has shifted so much from those early days of indie comics to now where we're competing with screens, but we can reach a wider audience faster, and we can produce these things much faster than those guys with that black and white comic book for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, So it's pretty interesting. It would be a great documentary. I'd love to see it too. I think.
But cool. Fred, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so to your second part of your question, I think the through line of it would be expectations versus reality, right? Of the creator. And I would actually do the opposite of what Rob said. I would make a time machine and go back in time and do a documentary on me 6 years ago. And like, if you could you meet that naive schmuck that was like, man, I'm going to have this 6-issue miniseries done in a year. And then somebody's going to just see it from a publisher. And then my life's going to take off. And then 2-3 years from now, man, I got to get that Daredevil story ready. Cause when Marvel calls, and I was a fool. And I think it would have been really interesting to see that guy's journey. Cause here I am now and you're like, well, how's comics going? And I'm like, man, I'm this next Kickstarter is the one, because my life's going to start soon. And the lesson is, I think that we all kind of go through is our life is what happens along the way, right? One of the interesting things about the topic today is how do we make it in comics? And I was thinking about before, what is making it in comics? Because as this book started, the goalpost is ever changing, right? If you had asked me when, what my goal was when I started, it would have been just getting the book done, and that moment where my mom is sitting in the living room and she's holding the trade all together and she's flipping through it and she's like, man, it's done. And then the documentary would be about how halfway into it, we lost my mom. And then, my best friend picked me up through that time period. And then 13 months later, I lost him. And then then I kind of was lost for a while. And then that was when I finally started putting myself out. It's weird. That's when I finally started listening to the advice that I was getting from them, especially that friend that was put yourself out into the community more and do that. And as I'm starting to do that, people are picking me up and helping me out in that way too. So the journey would be about, or the documentary would be about this naive fool that was man, this is going to be over soon. And it's just going to be gravy downhill and stuff. And it's no, man, it takes way longer. And I think the interesting thing that the documentary would show is as much as has changed during the process, the thing that was unwavering is that this will get done. And this is, my goal and stuff. So, I think if I could have I wish I did trace that journey better, because part of me was well, once the book's ready, then I'll do the Kickstarter. Once that's ready. And I kept waiting for something. It's weird. I kept waiting to be ready. And I think maybe the documentary, might have shown a little bit of light on you need to start now, whether you feel ready or not, because you'll eventually, figure it out along the way. So I think kind of if you get the right kind of subject matter and kind of how, whatever, I don't know. I wish I can go back in 6 years and document all this and all its all it's changed and all it's taken out of me. Cause like, I swear, like I used to look a lot better. And now like, you know, the last few Kickstarters, I've like aged like Lincoln during the Civil War. So, you know, it's a process, but you know, I think also like the cool thing about the documentary that would come out is like the passion of it and like how much you love it, and you know, and all the great things about this process too. So yeah, that would be my subject, you know, and I mean, I don't mean that in a narcissistic way, like I would just film me, because like I don't think I'm like inherently interesting, but I just like I learned so much that like I wish I documented along the way.
Bro, we'll be on your doorstep on Monday to start shooting, right?
Man, what happened to the dog?
You know, he doesn't like the emotional stuff. You know, once things get heavy, he's like, "Oh man, I don't want to hear that."
And a violin on Bluetooth all day.
He's like, I am not going to be in your documentary, buddy.
No, he's like, I'm not signing that waiver.
Yeah, I need to speak to his management first.
Yeah. All right, cool. Mr. Rosario, what are your thoughts?
I'd watch Fred's documentary. I would.
Hey,
and I think we all got a similar story to that. You know what I mean? And it's overcoming the odds. And I love that. Yes, if the subject matter is framed the right way, it would make for an interesting watch, right? But I understand what Rob is getting to with, you know, we're not draws, right? We're not the ones that put the asses in the seats, right? We are the lucky discovery, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to cover that, I have this documentary series that I have been mulling over for years, right? And I'm calling it Conquer the Con. And it is a series of different conventions with two or three different people to see if they've made money at the con. And it's a 1 hour setup, right? And it's the first half hour, it's the travel hiccups, lodging hiccups, and fucking setup hiccups. And if you ever done a con, you know there's always setup hiccups, right? So you're conquering those challenges, and then the last half hour would be if they made money. And then at the end, it would be like those house flipper things where they show you travel expenses, right? Lodging expenses, convention expenses, total profit. Did you make money or did you not make money? If you made money, you conquered the con. If you didn't, boom, all right, you didn't conquer the con.
Each
right?
number.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's enough to get people who are not into comic books, because I don't flip fucking houses, yet I watch the fucking house flipping shows to see if they got through, right? To see if they made money, to see if they colored the fucking wall eggshell white or fuchsia, right? I watch it for those challenges. So yeah, I definitely would do Conquer the Con as a docu-series, right? 4 or 5 different episodes, and you could highlight different creators throughout the series.
I think that's brilliant. Like I would send the documentary film crew to your house when they show up here. I'd be like, no, he's got a better idea. Because that's really interesting. That'd be one of the things that I'd like to see demystified. Because like, you know, when you're new to this, you just see these creators at the table and all their stuff. And it's like, you know, man, like they're like so set up, and it's like, you don't realize like that banner costs, you know, a lot of money, and all the printing and, you know, all that, like those stickers are not cheap, like, cause you buy them in bulk, and it's like, they're a commitment. So yeah, I would love to see that broken down.
And if you're doing 5 or 6 episodes and some of the people are recurring, right? You could do a little dive, about each one of them at certain points in the docuseries. So it's I think it's ingenious.
Yeah. Well, Daphne says that's every anime artist Sally video on YouTube.
What, really?
Yeah. She watches a lot of them. So
they do the dollar totals too?
I don't know if they do dollar totals, but they do break it down. I mean,
there are people that do that. Yeah, there are people that do that for themselves, just to sort of be like, hey, this cost me $500 to do all of this, and you know.
Is it like a certain genre, or you just
she just said an anime artist?
That's it. Just look up anime artists.
That's every anime artist alley video on YouTube. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you want, I can have her send you some links.
Yeah.
So you can understand. But the thing is, though, Jay, I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I've already stolen the idea, so I've already sold it, so it's done.
At least put me in a goddamn episode.
Yeah, I mean,
but what you don't know, JD, is that JD already sent that idea 5 years ago to a TV producer.
Yes,
on the back of something. So
yeah, I've spoken to JD quite a bit, and I don't think so. No, but it's funny. The reason I ask is because I watch a lot of comic book documentaries. There are quite a few of them. There's maybe 15 or 20 of them, maybe a little bit more, right? There's some very obscure ones. There's some, you got your Image ones, you got your Marvel ones, but you do encounter quite a few independent comic book creators, and it's something I've been interested in for a long time. And it's like, this question I asked because I don't have an answer, right? Jay's idea is very interesting. The only problem I have with it is that I might find it depressing, because you're gonna find that at the end nobody's made any money, right? Nobody's ever made any money.
God, I hope not.
I don't know.
I mean, well,
I don't know.
It would depend on who you're following, but in a lot of cases, you're going to be seeing a lot of I broke even or whatever kind of stuff.
But you know what? If you're not making money at your local church basement con, you're fucked up. Seriously, if
sure, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's all variable, right? You're going to have a different experience at New York Comic Con than you would at whatever else. So yeah,
and you build up to that, right?
Sure. I mean, and the only other thing, is like, because that's, like I said, a very interesting concept. Myself, I'm more interested in the art of the art part of what we do rather than, just the monetary, because that's important. Don't get me wrong. It's important. It's important. And if you wanted to sell a show, probably Jay's idea would be the way to go. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm just asking because, I just think it's one of those things that we need to, it might be a subject or a project I may tackle in the next couple of years.
One of my favorite ones, I was just saying, one of my favorite documentaries about the business and the all of it is in Robert Kirkman's Secret History of Comics. The episode they do on Milestone is one of my favorites.
Right.
It's really,
definitely.
I want to see a documentary.
I think Calderon and Rosario, because you've got a regular show too. I think that you guys have more content than you really realize. And if you were to take all of these videos and hand them over to somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing and say, look, we want to break this down. There's good moments. There's funny moments. Chop this stuff up into, number one, into TikTok videos and post these 28-second videos and stuff. You would get a crazy audience. Again, but it has to be done by somebody who knows what the hell they're doing as well and understands the audience that they're trying to chop it up for. But also all of this content can be used for what you're talking about, some sort of a documentary on what are people doing in comics at this sort of level of where we are. And you have fucking thousands of hours of people talking about all kinds of stuff that, given to the right person, they could take that stuff and chop it up and turn it into something that could be watchable. Not to the context of like when we see these, Mike Mignola documentaries and stuff, but it would be a little more like reality TV style, documentary. But you guys have a lot of, assuming you have all these videos saved somewhere.
I do. Read the comment.
Well, of course, 75 will be laser blast. Of course. I mean, naturally.
Listen, we're trying to get the guy on the show, Ray. We're trying to get him on the show.
We're trying. Here you go. I hope you like selling stickers. All right, cool. Jay, you got any? You have a question?
Yeah. Okay. Fuck it. We're in the documentary room. What kind of documentary do you want to see? Forget about if you could be in it. What do you want to see? Something get the spotlight shined on it.
All right. Oh,
to clarify, you're talking comic specific, yeah?
Yes, please. Yes.
All right. So hold on. I think I went from Rob to Michael to Ray. So Fred, I skipped you. So you're first. Sorry.
Wow. Okay. So that's not fair because I really wanted to think about this question. This can be a lot of fun to think about what
I'll take it.
You would want to know. Okay, go ahead, Ray.
All right, cool. What I would like to see is some really successful indie comic that is very niche and the average person has no idea it exists. That's what I would like to see. Something in like Korea or something in like London or something that you just don't hear around this area. That's what I would like to see. I would like to know its origin to where it is right now, from as much as it would fit in a documentary caliber amount of time, the highs and lows, and the drive to make that specific comic. That's what I would like to see.
All right, cool. Rob, what are your thoughts?
I'm the worst person to ask these documentary questions because I don't watch them. I don't care about them. But I would honestly, though, JD, your idea about the con thing, that actually did kind of pique my interest. My eyebrow did go up on that one. So I think,
you know, just for that, Rob, the day I do set off to make this documentary, I swear to you, you're going to be the first person. I can't tell you, Rob, we got to do this interview.
JD is going to he's going to steal the idea, and then in the closing credits, big thanks to Jay Rosario.
and then at the end, and this was the stick it to Rob.
No. What I would do is I would interview you for about 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours, right? Make you go through the whole thing and give you about 10 seconds worth of screen time.
That's fucked up, kid.
Well, yeah.
That's because for that, cut them out. You know what I mean? 10 seconds.
No,
that's like getting on a 2 on a math test out of 100. You know what I mean, bro? It's like you tried. You know, you tried. It's fucked up. Right. You're just stupid. You tried.
Listen.
That's all right. That's all right.
Michael, and Rob knows I wouldn't do that.
I mean, I really like the idea of following people at the con. I think it's great. And then you would just do like the different tiered levels. You know, you've got the guys pulling in like 100,000 per year on his book, and the guy that's like spent his earnings at Chipotle, and you got everything in between, and try and see what all those individual people are doing. You know, I'm the guy who spent all his earnings at Chipotle, by the way.
Nothing wrong with that, though. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm with that.
I think you would give this idea to a TV exec, and they'd probably turn it into like one of those reality TV competitions where they're like everyone's, you know, like one of those cooking shows. And that would be terrible.
The biggest race, except with
that would be ridiculous. But
people
anyway.
Like running like across country with like long boxes and shit. Like,
buy my book.
Like obstacle courses where they have to like.
Yeah, I would totally want to see that documentary. That would be cool.
Somebody needs to pitch this to Kevin Smith because I feel like this would be the follow up to Comic Book Men.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Comic Con Men.
Fucked up. I can see the challenge. All right, do this obstacle. Now you got to run to this table and you got to bag 10.
Yes, like
the boards in after you put the books in.
How fast can you bag them? Yeah.
like a comic books American Gladiators. Like, you know, you got to run up the treadmill with your stock and everything, and then like
tell you, I would never fucking watch that.
Oh, I would.
Tom, you wouldn't be watching it. You would be the commentator.
You'd be watching it to see every fat fuck like me.
No.
Yes.
No.
Well, I would watch.
Okay,
let me be clear. I would watch Rosario's episode. That would be it.
Tom would be the commentator, just trash talking every failure that comes across.
I'll be like the guy from Dodgeball. You know,
You
like,
can be our Mike.
That's
You can be our Mike Adamley if anybody remembers Mike Adamley. Like,
I might be able to do that. I might be able to do. Yeah.
Him and JD Calderon, they both.
Yeah, we'll be there. But Fred, what are your thoughts?
okay, I have two now. First of all, I'm big into like Golden Age, Silver Age stuff right now, and I like a lot of. Been watching. I really watched this PBS documentary on the history of superheroes a lot, and one of the people that I would like to see more about is like Ramona Fradon, being that like she's like one of like the first like female artists, and I just like to know like more about like her perspective, like working, you know, back in the day, like, you know, with all the, like, I'm sure strong personalities and like the old school of like working in a bullpen where it's like, you know, like 30 people in a sweaty room and everybody's talking shit to each other. And like, she would talk about like her place in that room and how it felt. And I would just like to know more what it was like back in the day from that perspective. And I was also always a fan of her like art, like her Aquaman shit was, you know, always sentimental to me when I was young. But the other one, I don't know if I want to see this one, but you know, you talked about like what you would watch, I guess. And I'm a big WWE wrestling fan, and they have a series, not WWE, but there's a show called Dark Side of the Ring, where they like pick a subject matter and they go into like the seedier parts of their past and stuff. I don't know if I want to watch that with comic creators, but I think like, you know, maybe some of like way back in the day to know what they were like, because, you know, a lot of the old comic creators, like, we don't know much about their personalities the same way, like, you know, Hollywood people have been like kind of sanctified and shit. Like Clark Gable, I'm sure was a piece of shit. We just don't have like YouTube videos of him, like, you know, treating people, you know, the press awfully. So I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool to be like, you know what, that's Steve Ditko, you know, X, Y, and Z, you know, and be like, holy shit, he did what? But
they were too tired to do anything else.
Yeah, I was gonna. They were not living the fast life with the cars and the drugs and all that. Like they were spending a lot of time in front of the table, I'm sure. But I don't know. I think that'd be kind of interesting.
All right. Cool. Tom, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. There's a couple of guys that pop into my mind that I've never seen anything really anything about them. One of them's Art Adams. He was a portion of the Mike Mignola thing, so we got a little bit of a tiny background where that group of guys was hanging out and doing stuff together.
It was a 10-second 2-hour interview.
Yeah. But so I'd like to see somebody go deep dive on him, because I really don't know really cursory stuff about art. But he's worked for everybody. He's done his own books, and you know, I'd love to get his history. And then the other one is Adam Warren. It seems like a very, you know, that again, here's a guy who's been around all over the place, and created his own manga thing, seemingly almost wrapping up his career, because I couldn't even tell you what he's doing right now that Empowered is over. Like, I don't know where he is or what he's doing. Hopefully he's doing something, but I don't know what it is. So it would be cool to know. So those are two guys that I'd like to get the spotlight put on.
All right, cool. So yeah, I mean, I think the portion of it that I'd want to see would be, like I said, I'm more interested in the art, you know, what creators are up to and what they're doing and how they're doing it and why they're doing it, right? And I'm not really interested. Like, I want to know the obscure guys. Like, I want to know, like, you know, the more obscure, almost the better for me, right? Because people already out there, like Dan Mendoza, I'm sure is a great guy, but he's already out there. People, I'm sure the interviews with him all over the place, so you can see him all over the place. Same thing with Brian Pulido, like, great guy, I'm sure, but, you know, okay. You know, but I'd rather experience a dude who maybe put out 6 issues of something and then stopped, and then try to find out, why did he stop? Why did he begin? Right? What caused him to stop? Right? Was this the only music he had hit him? Right? Like, you know, why are these things going about? You understand? Those are the things that I'm more interested in than, you know, like how much money you're making, which is fine. I mean, there's certainly a place for that. But, you know, I want to see more about the people, you know, the people of, you know, the people that do these things, you know, because money's money. You know, I've said it before. You really want to make money, go to Wall Street, make money. You know, go to business school, get an MBA in business, and take your ass down to Wall Street. They'll take you. They'll chew you up and spit you out, but they will take you.
That actually, what you said there, JD, actually just another subject matter that just, or a subject that you just triggered. James O'Barr, I would like to know more about, because I don't know much about his life. I know about what led into The Crow, but like kind of what went after and where he went in his career, you know. he's another one that I would be interested in. But. And there he's back.
He's also
you're not emotional, right? When you do the emotional stuff, he's like, I'm out.
This is too heavy for me, man.
Yeah. All right. So, I don't know if this is enough for a single documentary. So I'll take a docu-series like Dark Side of the Ring, but Dark Side of comic books. But I want to go back to DC before it was DC and the printing press being used as fucking launder money for the mob. You know what I mean, man? I want to fucking know how that shit went down. Right? Give me like, the machines that made us, or the foods that made us, and show me those little reenactment clips with the fucking mob going into the office and be like, yo, what the fuck is going on here? You don't got my money? Fucking print up those funny books already. Come on, let's go. I want to see that shit. I mean, it really did happen. It was legit, right? They were used for that. So I want to know that, or the beefs, right? It was more than just the Stan and Jack, right? It was the Paul Levitz and Jim Shooter stuff, right? I want that. I want to know what happened between Rob Liefeld and Wheezy. What happened when he got her kicked off of New Mutants? Fucking give me that shit. Give me fucking comic book beef, bro.
Have you ever seen Walt get into his ass about that? That's pretty fucking funny to hear it.
No, what
Walt
do you mean?
Yeah. He's barked him down a couple times. Yeah. And he can't say shit to Walter because one, he's a fan, and two, he's Walter Simonson. What the fuck are you gonna tell him?
Yeah, he won't bring that up, right? He'll bring everything else up on his thing that shines a nice, pretty fucking light on him, but he won't throw a little mud on his face. Yeah, so I got it kicked off because I was young and I wanted to fucking make the money and make the book by myself, right? You won't hear him fucking say that.
Nope.
Fucking cunt.
Well, that should be the name. That's the name of your show right there. Cunts in Comics.
No, see you next Tuesday.
No, it should be Comic Cunts.
Comic Cunts. Comic Cunts.
I mean, because if you're gonna do the good, you gotta take the bad too. You know what I'm saying, bro?
And like when somebody
own up to it, own up to you being fucked up, and you can be respected just a little bit fucking more.
And at the end of the episode, like if they're like, if like the decision is that they're a cunt, like you stamp them like in Half Baked.
Oh, I like that. No. You close the file. And then you stamp it on the file. Cunt.
No, we call it
and if
comics,
you're really dastardly, fucking cunt. You know what I mean?
Comics united through negative toxicity.
Love that, Ray! Yeah, baby!
We have a contender for a docu-series. First and foremost, I think, Jay, you should be narrating this stuff. You're so emotionally invested. But I think all of us would be able to give some 2 cents. Not anything like legitimate information, just to keep the antagonizing going, and then bring in the experts, and then you just, I heard Fred Schwartz said this. You'd be like, who the hell's Fred Schwartz? Screw that guy, and then just keep it going. I'm in.
You just want to hear me say cunt. You fucking cunt.
You know what? I would consider that a bonus, but I'm still in. Comics united through negative toxicity.
I love it. I love it.
We all get like shirts with like C.UNT, like
whoa, that's a little crazy. Let's not get
no. We do that in the Star Wars font with the
yes,
with the block around it.
Yeah,
that shit. Oh, but we do it in reverse because the T is on top. You know what I mean? So instead of the gap on the bottom, the gap is on the. Oh, this is coming to fucking together,
yes,
right? Oh shit! And this is live. It's got an FTP stamp on it. This motherfucker is legal in court, baby. Yeah.
So we're all 1/9 owners.
So, we'll call it in that case toxic negativity in unification through comics, or like the reverse. There you go. I'm gonna stop that joke now.
No, it's. I just can't wait till it gets really big so we can like segue into like plushies.
What the hell kind of plushies are you
That's
thinking?
Gonna be a weird plushie.
Yeah. Logo?
Oh no! They're not called plushies. They're called bushies. Holy shit! You can't fucking make this. I'm gold tonight. I'm fucking gold tonight, baby.
Wow.
All right. Very, very good, Jay. Very good.
See, even Fred's dog agrees with me. He got through the fucking mute. That's how fucking good this shit was.
Tom, I'll lob it back to you. Do you have another one or no? Okay.
Can't follow up after that, I see.
All right,
it's like the roller coaster. We're gonna go up. Tom, you ready? No.
There you go. All right. All right. So let's. I got a simple one. No, I'm not gonna ask that.
You did 4, do 3. Fucking Rob.
Hey, Bushy's a hard act to follow.
Sounds like an award that you get, like in the adult film industry.
All right. All right. Number 3. Would you be open? And well, whatever. Would you be open to doing a crossover with your characters, however you want to phrase it, or have you done one? With who? And how did it go? And how did it benefit you? Right. Rob, we're back to you.
I'm working on one with David Byrne, with Snowpaw and his Jessame character from Steak. So it's going slow because we both are very busy and we launch a lot. So time has been difficult, but we have cover art already. We're just and we have a story plot line. We just need to actually get down into the nitty gritty of getting together and writing the script out and agreeing on certain points. And I mean, we already have artists lined up, ready to go for the interiors, and I already have a Kickstarter page up for pre-launch.
Okay.
So.
All right, nice. Michael, what are your thoughts?
I would absolutely love to do a crossover. I mean, I'm just super into doing this stuff, and that sounds like it would be a blast. I don't know how well this current idea that I'm working on, but after this story arc, I have other ideas. So I'm definitely down for anything. That would be great to do crossovers and stuff like that. I have not done one yet, though.
Okay, cool. Fred?
Story-wise, I haven't done any yet. And it's totally situational, right? Like in Fisticuffs, it's the story of Nick, the protagonist. It's a 6-issue arc, and I really don't want to ever touch him again after this. Like, I think it's like a self-contained story. That said, like the universe I want to spin out, like there's lots of characters that I would love to cross over and do stuff with. Some of the stuff, like for our next campaign, like I've have some people doing some fan art, and I do have like one crossover print with the character on it, and that is fine because that's like ancillary stuff, and that's other people taking the thing on and doing their own thing with it, and that's great, and that's part of it. But I think for most any other thing, I would be totally open to it, and it would just depend on the collaborator and the story and like what we're doing.
All right, cool. Yeah. Mr. Ray.
I haven't done any crossovers before, and if I were, I think I would combine Sarlacc, that dwarf above my head there, with Puck from Alpha Flight. I think that would be an interesting little mix. Or this guy here, Madrakis. I think he'd be really. I think a half decent story with him and Rintra, Doctor Strange's apprentice for a while. I think that would be the Green Minotaur that people remember him as. I think that would be an interesting combo. But not there yet, but definitely open to things like that. That's for sure.
Cool. Tom, what are your thoughts?
16 years of doing this, there have been plenty of attempts and you can do it. And invariably the other side has always floated away off into the wind, no matter how close we were on doing things. We had one guy I won't talk about. We had a first issue completely done. We had a 3-issue miniseries we were going to do. First issue was done, not done, like done, but we had written it and it was ready to go, and then it just blew away into the wind. The only thing that's ever happened is Dave Ryan has been doing a book for a long time called War of the Independents, and it's a huge, gigantic crossover with like the Savage Dragon and the Max and She and like Milk and Cheese, and like it's fucking crazy. And when I came around with Critter, he had already started it, so it wasn't a situation where I could be like, oh, you could use Critter. But that's exactly what I did. I was like, oh, you can use Critter. He's like, well, the story's already written. And I'm like, I just put her in there. I don't care. Put her in the background, have her punch somebody, it doesn't matter. And as the book that he was doing, it was going slowly and slowly and slowly. Some of the creators had dropped out, and he was looking for replacements. And so Critter became a replacement for some of the dropouts. And she actually made it to the cover of the first issue because I won't say who it was, but that character dropped out. And so Critter made it into that spot on the front. And she's been through this series, and issue 5 is about to be done now. And that's the one that he says has all the girls in it, all the girl characters. So Critter will be in there. So that's the only thing that has actually happened. In the past year, I had a whole bunch of people that were like, hey, we could do. And I was like, yeah. Tell me what you want to do. Yeah. Do something. Yeah. Do something. Yeah. No. Nothing. So it's like people want it. Like I don't question like people wanting to do it, but then they realize that there's work that has to be put into doing it. And that's where everybody starts to stumble. So I have some pitches for some people that I might throw around at some folks. I did throw one to Ben Dunn, which he was interested in, and then he came back around and pitched one back to me a different way, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. So there's possibilities in that regard. But then there's other creators that I know that I have some thoughts that I'm going to throw out to some people, and then it's just a matter of, and again, I don't want to like crap on all these guys that were like, let's do something, because everybody, it's all time, moment of time, this, so and so and so and so, and it could all come back around at any point, and they'd be like, oh look, I wrote a script. I'd be like, oh, okay, let's go. But I'm open to it. I've always been open to it. I mean, there's really only a couple of characters though for me, because a lot of my characters are very like contained in sort of their own bubbles. Like we're not going to be doing anything with Dorothy Gale and Oz, that kind of stuff. They're very much in their own bubble. Mm-hmm. But like if there was stuff from like Critter or whatever, something along those lines, people have talked to me about, using Joan of Arc. And I'm like, yeah, we can make that work, because those are a little more wide open spaces. So opportunities there. If anybody wants to actually do some work, we could potentially make something happen.
There you go. Mr. Rosario. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Fred. What were you going to say?
Oh, I just had a question. Like when you're saying about like the collaborations and people going to you, is it that they want to take your character and use it in their own story, or is it that they want to like produce something alongside of you, or do they like, what's the implication when they
it varies. Some are just like, I mean, in general, most people understand a crossover as let's do an issue that's a crossover for both of us. Like this character and this character are in an issue, we tell a story and we get out. That's it.
One shot done.
Yeah, like a one shot. Yeah. It's obviously much easier if, like, for example, they had a superhero universe and they were like, hey, can Critter like appear in the universe? Be like, yeah, we can just, figure out how you want to put her in the story. That's fine. That would be easier. But most of the time it's like, I've got a character and you've got this character, and let's put them together and tell a story with them. And I'm like, yeah, okay. What do you have in mind? Tell me what you want to do. And then it just kind of goes into the wind at that point. There was one that was really close. I mean, like we were really, really close. It was a great crossover. It was a great sort of the pairing of the two types of characters was like really good, really nice. Right. Really nice. So I was really kind of bummed that kind of fell apart, but it is what it is.
Interesting.
All right, cool. Jay, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, like Tom, doors open. You want to use any of my stuff? No problem. I got three rules. You can't kill them. No porn, and you gotta do offset printing, so I could buy a whole bunch at cost and use them as stretch goals and add-ons and bonuses to any of my campaigns or conventions. All right? I won't charge you. I'll just let me buy the books at cost, right? Let me contributing to a couple hundred copies. Let's rock and roll.
All right. I mean, with the exception of the third one, which I think is a good rule, the other two can never work with you.
First thing we do is we have it on the cover. We're walking over the Interceptor's grave. Like cover.
Well, if it's a tease, it's a tease. You know what I mean?
That's just the beginning, and then the plans I have for Vicky Sticks. Forget about it.
Don't give it a Vin Rain. Don't give it a Pulp Fiction. Come on, kid. Come on.
I mean, especially if she has replaceable body parts. Come on. Endless.
Yeah, I got a great idea for a crossover about this character called Bushy. It's really kids.
I like that.
All right. What's funny is that so far I've done one crossover with Oswald, and is with Daphne. It was very easy because she's my wife, right? But we did a crossover with her and her character, with him and her character, Ego Raven, and it worked out fine. And it's something, I would be interested in doing and maybe exploring in the future. But again, it's one of those things where it's like with that particular character, it has to be a very specific thing, because I'm not gonna have him running around with superheroes for the most part. It's gonna be one of these things where it has to be like, all right, what type of fantasy setting do we have, or something weird like that we can put him in, that would work for everybody.
Although Interceptor and Oswald would make for a nice homage to one of those Jackson 5 cartoons with Michael and Ben. You know what I mean? It would be great.
Jackson 5 cartoon. Wow, that's old school.
Yeah.
I remember really gosh.
I mean, it's trending right now. You know what I'm saying? It's
that's true. It is trending. That's true.
It's trending right now. Come on,
that
kid.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. This has been awesome. All of you guys have been great. Let's start with Rob. Please, where can we find you and your work, sir?
Yeah, you can find me at Facebook, X, Instagram, and pretty much any social media. I have at Lone Wolf Comics, but I'm only active on those three. That's why I mentioned that. And same at Rob Multari, those three, and lonewolfcomics.com. You can go there and you can learn about my titles and get back issues. And then snowpod.lonewolfcomics.com will take you to that very long Kickstarter link for Snowpaw Volume 1.
Cool. Very nice. Michael?
You could find me at conradvancottonmouth.com, and all the socials are linked to that page, but they're essentially Conrad Van Cottonmouth, I think, with the exception of Twitter. But yeah, conradvancottonmouth.com. Check it out.
Very nice. Fred?
You can find me at Schwartz Art LLC on all the big socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. www.schwartzart-llc.com. And of course, the Kickstarter link that we shared earlier. We're going to have a bunch of announcements about the campaign coming this week. So, please support and follow, because, it's been like 6 years now. I've been expecting my life to start, and it's getting a little fatiguing. So let's help that out. So thank you.
Very nice. Ray?
You can find me on Facebook as DM Ray. You can find the Madcaps Facebook page as well. You can also find me on Instagram as Raymond the DM. But most importantly, check out my Kickstarter, live right now, already funded. When we hit that next stretch goal, there's a real cool thing. It's a secret stretch goal. And back right now, so I can show the cool thing. I'm very excited to show it off. The cool thing, the cool thing, the cool thing. That's all I got to say.
Cool. Tom?
BigDogInc.com. Get your books. We'll be doing Goth Day May 22nd, and then rolling in June and July is when we'll be at Comic-Cons, literally coast to coast this year.
Cool. Jay?
UnstoppableComics.com. You'll find all of my social media links on the website. Then Friday night with this guy, sometimes that guy down there for more than 20 minutes. Doors open if you guys want to jump on through It's Comic Book Streamland Friday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then Sunday nights with this guy, sometimes that guy. And then, yeah, like I said, unstoppablecomics.com on everything.
All right, cool. So you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those different places. Here, Sunday nights with Jay and Tom. Sometimes with Ray, sometimes with Rob, sometimes with a bunch of other people, right? Every other Tuesday with Rob, right? With on Mice and Wolves. I just want to say that, and especially on Kickstarter, got 2 campaigns currently running. Got Magi's Grace 1 through 3 and Rod Espinosa's Adventure Finders. So go check those out. Really awesome books. And please, everyone, go check out the show notes, because in the show notes are all of the links to all of these creators' projects. Click on those links, buy those books. These creators are all impassioned. They'll love what they're doing, and they're all creating great books. So please click on those links, buy those books, try an indie, and just remember, read more indie comics, especially ours. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.